See big news down just hours ago. Two federal judges now saying the Trump administration is required to tap into emergency funds to cover some food stamp benefits for next month. But it won't be enough rather to cover everyone. We do know that this comes just one day before the U.S. Department of Agriculture planned to freeze SNAP payments. It is not immediately clear how quickly the debit cards that people use to buy groceries could be reloaded after this ruling, but that process, it often takes 1 to 2 weeks. The judges are giving the administration until Monday to say whether it will use the money to fund SNAP. And here in Georgia, more than 1 million people rely on SNAP benefits, including an estimated 500,000 children.
Okay, so Trump has been screaming at judges in courtrooms, and federal judges are absolutely fed up with it. Trump has been yelling. Trump has been making loud comments. Trump has been treating the courtroom like a campaign rally. Trump has been interrupting testimony. Trump has been launching into political attacks while sitting at the counsel table. And judges have been warning Trump repeatedly that if he doesn't control himself, if he doesn't stop screaming, Trump is going to be thrown out of the courtroom. Trump is going to face contempt charges. Trump is going to go to jail. Judges are basically telling Trump, you have one more chance and then we're done. But before we go any further, real quick, let's be honest, you can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built Pump Politics, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, join our free newsletter. We'll send the news straight to your inbox every day. Just click the link in the description to join. And if you just want to support what we're doing, join us. Be part of the community that actually cares about the truth. All right, let's get back to the video.
We are working breaking news now at 6. Just moments ago, a federal judge has ruled on one of former President Trump's appeals to dismiss criminal charges linked to his classified documents case.
Now, Trump and his lawyers today were in federal court in Fort Pierce. They argued that the case should be dropped. CBS News' Miami's Joan Murray joins us live outside of the federal courthouse in Fort Pierce with what we have just learned. Joan.
Well, there were two motions today, and a judge that former President Donald Trump appointed to the federal bench has ruled on one of them, and she has denied the motion on that the case should be thrown out because of unconstitutional vagueness. There is a second motion still pending that she has not ruled on, and that is whether.
And this is happening in multiple courtrooms. This is happening in New York. This is happening in federal courts. This is judges from different courts all saying the same thing. Control yourself or you're out. And Trump is not listening. Trump keeps screaming. Trump keeps making loud comments. Trump keeps trying to turn the courtroom into a campaign event. And judges are reaching their breaking point. Judges are threatening to remove Trump from the courtroom. Judges are threatening contempt charges. Judges are warning that next time could result in actual jail time. Here's what happened in the New York fraud trial. Trump testified. Trump gave testimony about his finances and his business practices, and Trump completely lost it. Trump started yelling at the judge. Trump accused Judge Arthur Engoron of having his own agenda. Trump called the case a fraud on him. Trump launched into campaign-style attacks while sitting in the witness stand. Trump was supposed to be answering questions about his business, but instead Trump was ranting about the judge and the case being rigged. And Judge Engoron basically said enough. Engoron looked at Trump's lawyers and said, control your client. Engoron told Trump to stop. Engoron cut Trump off when Trump kept going. And then in the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial, Trump did the same thing. Trump was sitting at the counsel table. Carroll was testifying about what Trump allegedly did to her, and Trump started making loud comments. Trump was running commentary on her testimony. Trump was muttering things loud enough for the jury to hear. Trump was doing exactly what he's not supposed to do in a courtroom. And Judge Lewis Kaplan warned Trump directly. Kaplan said, you need to control yourself or you're going to be removed from this courtroom. Kaplan said, if you keep making loud comments, if you keep interrupting testimony, I'm going to have you taken out. Kaplan was basically saying, Trump, you're one strike away from being thrown out. And now there's this broader crisis happening. Federal judges all across the country are reporting that they're receiving threats. Judges are saying the threats have increased dramatically. Judges are saying the threats spike when Trump attacks them by name on social media. Judges are saying their families are being threatened. Judges are saying people are showing up at their homes. Judges are saying the threats are unprecedented. And judges are linking this to Trump's rhetoric. Judges are saying Trump is creating a climate where violence and threats against judges are being normalized. Judges are saying Trump is attacking the rule of law. Judges are saying Trump is undermining the judiciary. So you've got Trump screaming at judges inside courtrooms. You've got Trump making loud comments during trials. You've got Trump launching political attacks at judges. You've got judges threatening to remove Trump. You've got judges threatening contempt charges. You've got judges warning about jail time. And you've got an unprecedented crisis of threats against federal judges that judges are linking directly to Trump's rhetoric and Trump's courtroom behavior. This is serious stuff. This is Trump pushing the system to a breaking point. This is a judiciary that is nearly at the end of its patience with Trump. Okay, let me walk you through exactly what Trump has been doing in courtrooms and why judges are so concerned about it, because you need to understand the full scope of Trump's behavior and the judicial response. Trump has never been good at following rules. Trump has never been good at accepting authority. Trump has never been good at listening to judges telling him what to do. But in actual courtrooms, in actual trials, Trump's behavior has been particularly egregious. Trump has been acting like he's at a rally instead of in a courtroom. Trump has been treating the legal process like a political event instead of a serious proceeding. In the New York fraud trial, Trump testified for hours. Trump was supposed to answer questions from the prosecutor. Trump was supposed to explain his business practices. Trump was supposed to provide evidence. But Trump kept deviating. Trump kept going off on rants. Trump kept attacking the judge. Trump kept saying the case was a hoax and a fraud. Trump was supposed to be a witness answering questions, but Trump was performing for an audience. Trump was playing to the cameras. Trump was treating the trial like a campaign event. And Judge Engoron kept having to tell Trump to answer the question. Engoron kept having to cut Trump off. Engoron kept having to remind Trump that this is a courtroom and there are rules. And it wasn't just Trump testifying, it was also Trump's closing argument. When Trump gave his closing argument, Trump attacked the judge again. Trump said the judge had his own agenda. Trump said the judge was biased against Trump. Trump said the case was rigged. Trump was supposed to be summarizing the evidence and explaining his legal position, but instead, Trump was attacking the judge in the case, and Engoron had to intervene. Engoron had to tell Trump's lawyers to control their client. Engoron basically said, if Trump doesn't stop, I'm going to have to do something about it. Engoron was warning that Trump's behavior was unacceptable and needed to change immediately. Now let's talk about the E. Jean Carroll trial, because that one is even more dramatic. Carroll was testifying. Carroll was describing what she said Trump did to her. Carroll was giving her account of the alleged assault, and Trump was sitting at the counsel table making loud comments. Trump was muttering things. Trump was doing what's called running commentary. Running commentary means Trump was reacting out loud to her testimony. Trump was basically disputing her in real time. Trump was trying to undermine her testimony by making noise and comments while she was testifying. That's completely inappropriate. That's not how courtrooms work. Witnesses testify. The other side gets to cross-examine them. You don't get to sit at the counsel table making loud comments while the other person is testifying. And Judge Kaplan got angry. Kaplan looked at Trump and basically said, "You need to stop." Kaplan said, "You're in a courtroom." Kaplan said, "There are rules." Kaplan said, "If you keep making loud comments, if you keep disrupting the proceedings, I'm going to remove you from the courtroom." Kaplan was essentially saying, "Trump, you're done. One more outburst and you're out. One more loud comment and you're going to be forced to leave." And Kaplan was serious. Kaplan wasn't making an idle threat. Kaplan was basically saying, "Trump, you have zero tolerance now. Any more disruption and you're gone." Now, here's what's important about contempt of court. Contempt of court is when you violate a judge's order or you disrupt the courtroom in a way that undermines the judge's authority or the judicial process. Contempt can be civil or criminal. Civil contempt is when you violate an order and the penalty is designed to coerce compliance. Criminal contempt is when you intentionally disrupt the court and the penalty is designed to punish you. And if Trump keeps screaming at judges, if Trump keeps making loud comments, if Trump keeps disrupting courtrooms, judges can find Trump in contempt. Judges can find Trump. Judges can jail Trump. Judges can remove Trump from the courtroom. Judges have those powers, and judges are not afraid to use them. And here's what makes this especially serious. Judges are saying that Trump's courtroom behavior and Trump's public attacks on judges are creating a crisis situation. Judges are saying there's been an unprecedented spike in threats against the judiciary. Judges are saying the threats are connected to Trump's rhetoric. Judges are saying that when Trump attacks judges by name, when Trump calls judges names, when Trump questions judges' impartiality, the threats against those judges increase. Judges are saying that Trump is creating a climate where judges are afraid. Judges are saying that judges' families are being threatened. Judges are saying that people are showing up at judges' homes. Judges are saying the situation has gotten dangerous. And judges are connecting this to Trump's courtroom behavior. Judges are saying that Trump's refusal to respect the authority of judges in courtrooms is part of a broader pattern of attacking the judiciary. Judges are saying that Trump's screaming at judges and his loud comments during trials are part of Trump's larger strategy of delegitimizing the courts. Judges are saying that Trump is essentially telling the public that judges are corrupt and biased and can't be trusted. And when the public hears that, when people believe that judges are corrupt, then threats against judges seem justified to some people. Then violence against judges seems acceptable to some people. Then it's okay to harass and threaten judges because Trump has already told people that judges are the enemy. So judges are looking at Trump's courtroom behavior not just as a trial management issue, but as part of a broader assault on the rule of law. Judges are seeing Trump's screaming and loud comments as part of Trump's strategy to undermine the judiciary. Judges are seeing Trump's attacks on individual judges as contributing to a climate of threats and intimidation against the whole judiciary. And judges are saying enough. Judges are saying they're not going to tolerate it anymore. Judges are saying that Trump needs to control himself or face serious consequences. Judges are saying that the next time Trump disrupts a courtroom, judges are going to use their contempt powers. Okay, let me break this down into the three main points that matter about Trump's courtroom behavior and the judicial response, because this is important for understanding where this is heading and what the consequences might be. First point, and this is documented from actual trials, Trump has screamed at judges and launched political attacks during testimony and closing arguments in the New York fraud trial, made loud running commentary during the E. Jean Carroll trial while she was testifying, and repeatedly been warned by judges that his behavior is unacceptable and could result in removal from the courtroom or contempt charges. This is real behavior that happened in real courtrooms. This is documented. This is on the record. Second point, and this is equally important, federal judges across the country are reporting an unprecedented surge in threats, with roughly 1/3 of the federal judiciary reporting threats in 2025, and judges explicitly linking the spike in threats to Trump's public attacks on judges and his courtroom defiance, which creates a climate where violence and intimidation against the judiciary are being normalized. So judges are saying Trump's behavior is not just a trial management problem. Judges are saying Trump's behavior is contributing to a crisis where judges' lives are being threatened. Judges are saying Trump is creating an environment where the judiciary itself is under attack. Third point, and this is the legal exposure. Judges have made clear that if Trump continues screaming at judges, continues making loud comments, continues disrupting courtrooms, judges will use their contempt powers to fine him, remove him from the courtroom, or potentially jail him even if he's the sitting president, because contempt of court is about maintaining the authority of the court and the integrity of judicial proceedings. So Trump is facing real legal jeopardy from his courtroom behavior. Trump is not just getting warnings. Trump is getting final warnings. Trump is being told that the next disruption could result in contempt charges and potential jail time. Now let's talk about what contempt of court actually means and what could happen if Trump gets charged with contempt. Contempt is a serious charge. Contempt is essentially saying you have violated the authority of the court. Contempt is saying you have disrupted the judicial process. Contempt is saying you have shown disrespect for the court and the judge. And if a judge finds you in contempt, the judge can impose serious penalties. The judge can fine you, the judge can jail you, the judge can remove you from the courtroom, the judge can do all of those things if the judge determines that you are in contempt. Now here's what's important. Contempt powers are very broad. Judges have a lot of discretion when deciding whether to hold someone in contempt and what penalty to impose. Judges can hold someone in contempt for refusing to follow an order. Judges can hold someone in contempt for disrupting the courtroom. Judges can hold someone in contempt for making loud comments during testimony. Judges can hold someone in contempt for attacking the judge. Judges can hold someone in contempt for essentially any conduct that violates the authority of the court or disrupts the judicial process. And here's what's really important about Trump's situation. Judges have already warned Trump. Judge Engoron warned Trump. Judge Kaplan warned Trump. Other judges have warned Trump. So if Trump gets charged with contempt, Trump can't say he didn't know what he was doing. Trump can't say he didn't know the rules. Trump can't say the judge didn't warn him. Trump has been warned repeatedly. So if Trump continues the behavior, if Trump continues screaming at judges, if Trump continues making loud comments, judges can point to the prior warnings and impose serious contempt penalties. And the penalties can be severe. Judges can fine Trump. Judges can fine Trump thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Judges can jail Trump. Judges can actually put Trump in jail for contempt of court. Now, Trump is the sitting president, so there would be complicated constitutional questions about whether judges can actually jail a sitting president. But judges have the power to try. Judges have the authority to fine someone in contempt and impose jail time. And judges are clearly willing to use that power if Trump continues disrupting courtrooms. Think about what that would mean. Imagine Trump in a courtroom. Imagine Trump screaming at the judge again. Imagine the judge warning Trump one more time to stop. Imagine Trump doing it anyway. Imagine the judge finding Trump in contempt. Imagine the judge ordering Trump to pay a fine or go to jail. That would be unprecedented. That would be the first time a sitting president has been held in contempt and forced to pay money or go to jail for courtroom misconduct. That would be historic. That would be the kind of thing that would shock the nation. But that's where this is heading. That's what judges are warning about. That's what's going to happen if Trump doesn't change his behavior. Judges are at the end of their patience. Judges are not going to tolerate Trump screaming at them anymore. Judges are not going to accept Trump making loud comments during testimony anymore. Judges are not going to allow Trump to treat the courtroom like a campaign rally anymore. So if Trump continues that behavior, Trump is going to face contempt charges. Now let's talk about the broader context of judges being threatened. Federal judges are reporting unprecedented threats. Judges are saying their families are being threatened. Judges are saying people are showing up at their homes. Judges are saying they're getting death threats. And judges are linking this directly to Trump. Judges are saying that when Trump attacks judges by name, when Trump calls judges names, the threats increase. Judges are saying that Trump's rhetoric is creating a climate where violence against judges is being normalized. Judges are saying that Trump's courtroom behavior is part of a larger pattern of attacking the judiciary. And judges are taking this very seriously. Judges are speaking out publicly about it. Judges are saying this is a crisis. Judges are saying that the rule of law is under attack. Judges are saying that if Trump keeps attacking the judiciary, if Trump keeps inciting threats against judges, judges might have to take unprecedented actions to protect themselves and protect the integrity of the judicial system. Judges are basically saying Trump is pushing the system to a breaking point. Think about what that means. Think about a judicial system where judges are afraid. Think about judges who are worried that if they rule against the president, if they rule against Trump, they're going to face threats and violence. Think about judges who are concerned about their families' safety. Think about judges who are wondering if it's worth it to continue serving on the bench. That's a system that's breaking down. That's a system where the rule of law is being destroyed. That's what Trump is doing with his rhetoric and his courtroom behavior. Here's why this matters for everyone watching this right now. The rule of law depends on judges being able to do their job without fear. The rule of law depends on judges being independent. The rule of law depends on judges not being intimidated by the president or by threats. If judges become afraid, if judges start making decisions based on fear rather than based on the law, then the rule of law is destroyed. Then we don't have a justice system anymore. Then we have a system where the president's threats matter more than the law. And that's what Trump is doing. Trump is trying to intimidate judges. Trump is trying to get judges to make decisions favorable to Trump because Trump is threatening them. Trump is trying to use threats and intimidation to get the outcome Trump wants. That's authoritarianism. That's what dictators do. That's not what happens in democracies. And judges understand that. Judges are pushing back. Judges are warning Trump that they're not going to tolerate it. So to bring it all together, Trump has been screaming at judges in courtrooms and making loud comments during testimony. Judges have warned Trump that if he continues, he will be removed from the courtroom or face contempt charges, and federal judges across the country are reporting unprecedented threats that they attribute to Trump's public attacks on the judiciary and his courtroom defiance. This is not just about trial management. This is about the rule of law. This is about whether judges can do their job without fear. This is about whether the judicial system can function. And Trump is threatening that. Trump is pushing the system to a breaking point. Trump is doing things that could get Trump held in contempt. Trump is doing things that could result in fines or jail time. Trump is doing things that are contributing to a climate where judges are threatened and afraid. And if Trump doesn't change, if Trump doesn't learn to control himself in courtrooms, Trump is going to face serious consequences. Judges have been patient with Trump. Judges have warned Trump. Judges have given Trump chances. But judges' patience is running out. Judges are at the end of the rope. Judges are saying that the next disruption, the next outburst, the next loud comment could result in contempt charges. Judges are saying they will use their power to maintain order and dignity in their courtrooms. Judges are saying Trump is not above the rules. Judges are saying that even if you're the president, you have to respect the authority of the court. And that's something that Trump has never understood. Trump thinks rules don't apply to him. Trump thinks he can do whatever he wants. Trump thinks he can scream at judges and nothing will happen. But Trump is wrong. Judges have power. Judges can impose serious penalties. Judges can remove Trump from the courtroom. Judges can jail Trump for contempt. And judges are willing to do it if Trump continues his behavior. So the question is whether Trump is going to learn. Is Trump going to control himself in the next courtroom? Is Trump going to stop screaming at judges? Is Trump going to stop making loud comments? Is Trump going to respect the authority of the court? Or is Trump going to keep doing what he's been doing? Is Trump going to keep pushing judges? Is Trump going to keep trying to intimidate judges? And when Trump keeps pushing, when judges finally lose their patience, when judges finally hold Trump in contempt, what happens then? That's the story we need to watch. That's what's coming. That's where this is heading. Trump has been warned. Judges have made clear what will happen if Trump continues. The question is whether Trump is going to listen. The question is whether Trump is going to change his behavior. The question is whether Trump is going to respect the judicial system. And if Trump doesn't, if Trump keeps screaming, if Trump keeps disrupting, then Trump is going to face contempt charges. Trump is going to face fines. Trump is possibly going to face jail time. That's where this ends. And the bigger question is what happens to democracy if the president is sitting in jail for contempt of court? What happens to the rule of law if judges have to jail the president to maintain order in their courtrooms? What does it say about the state of the nation if we've gotten to that point? It says that the system is broken. It says that the rule of law is gone. It says that we've descended into chaos. And that's what Trump is pushing us toward with his courtroom behavior and his attacks on the judiciary. Stay tuned, because the next time Trump goes to court, the next time Trump sits in a courtroom, that could be the moment when a judge finally loses patience and holds Trump in contempt. That could be the moment when Trump faces real consequences for his behavior. That could be the moment when Trump actually goes to jail. And when that happens, when a sitting president is being removed from a courtroom or being jailed for contempt, that will be a historic moment. That will be a moment that defines the state of American democracy. That will be a moment when the system finally said enough. Trump has pushed too far, and we're not going to tolerate it anymore.